Today I focus on the zombie idea in leadership. Number 2, leaders are a special breed of people. Zombie ideas in leadership are ideas or practices that, despite being proven ineffective or outdated by rigorous research and strong evidence, continue to persist and remain popular. They are dead ideas that are still walking among us and refuse to die. Why is the idea that leaders are a special breed of people considered a zombie idea? I'm sure you've encountered the age-old debate, are leaders born or made? Are leaders born with a silver spoon in their genetic makeup, or do they simply mold themselves into throne-worthy material after stumbling into the right leadership training and mentoring? Even though the current research findings suggest a blend of both and tend to tilt towards the made camp, which believes that leadership can be anyone's game, the zombie idea that leaders are a special breed of people is still quite popular. It's not uncommon to see people who cling to the idea that if you're not tall enough, charismatic enough, or blessed with the right DNA strand, you might as well give up on your leadership dreams. Here is a question for you. Can you list the celebrated personality traits and values leaders have that make them good leaders? It's likely you come up with a never-ending list that has every possible human quality under the sun. Extroverted, open-minded, conscientious, humble, caring, honest, visionary, decisive, confident, inspirational, considerate, collaborative, creative, and passionate. The list goes on. If you think of a positive trait, chances are it's being hailed as the golden ticket to leadership. This exhaustive inventory of virtues and traits turns into a sort of leadership bingo. Collect all the traits and voila, you are a leader. If you cannot check off the list, you remain among the common people. Except it's not quite that simple, is it? Here is where we stumble onto the circular argument that's like a merry-go-round. Let's break down this circular argument, shall we? On one side of the ring, we have argument 1. Leaders embody a list of traits, values, and characteristics. On the other side, we have argument, having these traits means you are destined for leadership. Sounds logical, right? Wrong. Consider the example of Alexander the Great, celebrated for his strategic genius, bravery. And let's not forget a dash of megalomania. Was he great because he checked off the leadership trait list? Or did we craft the list based on his life story? The problem with this circular argument is that it creates a feedback loop that's impossible to escape. It's like saying, you need a key to open a lock, but only those who have opened the lock can have the key. It's a self-fulfilling prophecy. We define leadership by the traits that set them apart, then use the traits to define who becomes a leader. It leaves no room for outliers, exceptions, or the plain fact that leadership is often situational and cannot be boiled down to a mere checklist that defines leaders as a special breed of people. Mahatma Gandhi is celebrated for his humility and nonviolent approach, but Winston Churchill is known for his bold, uncompromising leadership during wartime. What makes a leader great in one scenario may not apply in another. Leadership is highly contextual. This zombie idea also glosses over the uncomfortable truth that sometimes leaders emerge not because of their virtues, but despite their vices. History is full of leaders who were as charismatic as they were flawed. Alexander Hamilton was known for his brilliant mind, financial acumen, and a key role in establishing the United States financial system. But his career was also marred by personal scandals such as his affair with Maria Reynolds and intense political rivalries, most notably with Aaron Burr, which ultimately led to his death in a duel. The real question then becomes, are we simply retrofitting those traits onto individuals based on their outcomes. This is essentially a form of outcome bias. This approach is problematic because leadership at its core is a process aimed at motivating individuals toward a common goal. By focusing solely on the outcomes to define leadership traits, values, and virtues, we individually sideline the very essence of leadership as a process. This outcome-driven perspective fails to account for situational dynamics of the leadership process. J. Robert Oppenheimer's traits and values, such as his intellectual capacities, charisma, and moral reflections, remained consistent before and after the Trinity test, the first detonation of a nuclear weapon, which he oversaw as part of the Manhattan Project. This event fundamentally changed the world and how Oppenheimer's leadership was viewed, highlighting how situational dynamics play a critical role in the leadership process. His leadership qualities did not change. Rather, it was the context and outcomes of his actions that cast those qualities in a new light. So the next time you come across the leadership trait bingo, take it with a grain of salt. Leadership is not about checking off a list of qualities. It's about navigating the intricate landscape of consequences, choices, and challenges that define our shared experiences. And that is the untold story of leadership, a tale not of mystical heroes with the positive traits of all humanity. Why is this zombie idea so popular? The popularity of the zombie idea that leadership is reserved for a special breed is deeply intertwined with the societal and the cultural narratives about power and success. This mentality glamorizes leadership as an exclusive domain for the elite, reinforcing stereotypes and perpetuating a cycle of privilege. As top leaders of organizations command staggering salaries, leadership becomes a high-stakes game, accessible only to those already in positions of power. And in this high-stakes game, leaders are always the winners. You can look at the top leader's salary of your organization and then look at the salary of the employees who carry out the core functions of the organization, such as teachers in schools and engineers in technology companies. This pay gap not only widens the gap of inequality, but also turns leadership into spectacles, such as attending high-profile meetings, holding press conferences, and make rebel-rousing speeches. The glamorous spectacles overshadow the real, less glamorous work of guiding teams and making impactful decisions. The consequences are significant. A culture of grandiosity takes root, where the glamorous aspect of leadership are valued over its substantive challenges and responsibilities. This idolization creates a disconnect between leaders and those they lead, dampening the motivation necessary for the collective goal. By elevating leadership to a pedestal, society risks losing sight of the essence of true leadership, the process of motivating a group of people to work collaboratively towards common goals. In the end, this elite class of leaders move forward and climb upward, seemingly indifferent to the disconnection and the turmoil they leave behind. They laugh all the way to the bank, collecting the luxurious checks issued only to them. Meanwhile, we are left to bear the true cost of the zombie idea that leaders are a special breed of people. Now I encourage you to keep your eyes open and share examples of this zombie idea you come across. By staying alert and informed, we can join forces to put an end to the zombie idea that leaders are a special breed of people.